like albino people are born albino, aren't they?
Yes.
Good morning, I'm Mike Graham, he's Mike Parry. You're listening to the two Mikes on the warm-up. What a massive day of football today, kicking off with West Brom against Arsenal, who can't get back into the top four, even if they win. We'll be talking to Alan Stubbs too about the future for Wayne Rooney at Manchester United and at England. Plus there's loads going on in the Championship as well. Two new managers, Nottingham Forest and Derby. Steve McLaren's not involved. Will he turn up somewhere else? 08717 223344. Coming up on the show, we'll have the 1 minute moan, and we'll find out what happened to the 6 horses Porky backed in the Gold Cup yesterday. Not one of them won, by the way. You're listening to the two Mikes with me, Mike Graham, and Mike Parry on TalkSport. This is TalkSport. We are the two Mikes. It is the warm-up. We've got a massive day of football coming up, and of course we're going to be leading you all the way through and all the way through the afternoon and into the evening as well. It's time to say a very good morning, though, to Mr. Mike Porky Parry, the biggest loser of Gold Cup Day. Very good morning to you, Mr. Parry.
Well, that's a very nice way to introduce me to the show, isn't it?
Well,
the biggest loser.
Well, you backed 6 horses.
Very nice.
You backed 6 horses, not one of them won.
One of them came third.
That doesn't count.
Huh?
Doesn't count, does it? Well, how much did you get back for that? Native River finished third at 7-2.
I got 65 quid.
Did you back it each way?
Yeah.
So exactly how did you back 6 horses for 260 quid then?
Well, I put £100 on what I thought was going to win. That was the favourite. That was ridden by Ruby Walsh, right?
What was the name of that horse?
That was Duke and Dam.
Jack Dam.
That was the one. And I had £100 to win on that.
That crashed through a fence 2 from the finish.
I know. Then I had Native River, right?
Yeah.
That came in third.
That came in third at 7-2.
And I had £25 each way on that.
£25 each way?
Yeah.
Right, so what did you get back then?
£60.
How did you get £60 back?
I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure what the odds were.
Well, it's 7-2, it says here.
7-2. Well,
so
that probably makes sense.
So you got your stake back.
Yeah,
which
that's
would
right.
be 25.
5 plus a third of the winnings.
Yeah, you wouldn't have got 50 quid then.
Plus a quarter of the winnings. Well, that's what they gave me back. Anyway, then...
Well, I want to see this. I want to see the pay slip.
You don't get a pay slip. Just give her the cash
Just
over
give the cash.
Yeah.
Well, a third of 7-2.
Yeah.
Right, does not make 25
that's
plus
2
quid.
to 1, isn't it?
Eh?
2 to 1. A third is 7-2.
A third of 7-2.
Oh no, wait a minute.
No,
What's 7-2? 7-2's 3.5 to 1.
3.5 to 1. So a
So
third
that's
of
1
that
to
is
1.
one.
That's evens. That's evens. Yeah. Well, that's about right, isn't it? Yeah. Because then I would have got my stake back as well. You see.
So you got 50 quid. Yeah, you wouldn't though because you put 50 quid on.
Yeah.
So basically, you made no money at all. So
Oh,
you're
no.
saying you won some, you didn't win.
Oh no, I
anything.
didn't win anything on that. No.
So you won nothing on that.
Then I had Q card,
Q
right?
card, yeah, that fell 3 from home.
Now I knew that wouldn't win because it's an 11-year-old horse, so I only wanted it to come second or third anyway. And the blinking horse.
So you got that one each way, did you?
Yeah, each way.
Yeah.
Now then I had Champagne West, £10 each way. That was my long shot one.
Yeah.
You know, that was the one that was going to win instead of old whatever it was, Sizing John, was it?
Sizing John.
Sizing John was the one who won.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I thought it was going to be Champagne West. So
Yeah,
I had £10
Champagne
each
West
way.
weakened before the end. That didn't get anywhere.
Weakened?
Yeah, weakened.
I don't like weak things.
Weakened.
Then I had more of
So
that.
it actually made it to the finish line at all.
I had more of that,
More of
£10
that.
each way.
Yeah.
Right?
Outpaced after with about 3 to go. Strayed.
Yeah.
Never actually threatened the finishing line at all.
Useless. I hate losers.
Yeah.
And then at 40 to 1, I had £10 each way on T for 2, which was ridden by the lovely Lizzie Kelly.
Lizzie Kelly.
And I thought
Why
she'd
do you have to describe her as lovely? You didn't
Because
describe
she
Ruby
is.
Walsh as lovely.
No, I don't. I don't think Ruby Walsh
think that's a bit sexist.
is particularly attractive. No, not at all. But I saw her...
So when you describe a jockey as the lovely whatever,
Yeah.
you don't think that's sexist?
No, I don't, because I saw... The reason I describe her as lovely is
Yeah.
because I saw her
Because she's
interviewed...
a woman.
No. I saw her
Well, have you
interviewed
ever
before...
described a male jockey as lovely?
No, I haven't, no. I saw her interviewed before the race, and I thought she was so elegant and eloquent in the way she described,
Well,
her...
because she's middle class.
Yes, that's right,
Because
yes.
she's not some oik from the working class great unwashed.
Well, she didn't talk like that, like
Well,
a
why
lot of
would
people in
she?
racing do.
A lot of
They
people
come
in-
from these stables in the country, don't they? But
Have you ever
but
spoken?
She didn't.
Have you ever spoken to any trainers in racing?
Yes.
They don't all talk like that, you know.
Well,
have you ever spoken to Rupert Bell's brother?
I know Michael Bell.
Do you?
Okay, I know him.
Well,
He's
he
a
don't
friend.
talk like that
okay?
either, do
no,
he?
no. Well, I
Even
tell
though he
you
lived
what.
down there.
I tell you what, Mick Jannett, and he talk like that, doesn't he? Because he come from Hampshire, doesn't he? Eh? You know what I
He's
mean?
a footballer.
Of course, a lot of the trainers and the jockeys.
Anyway, how did
they
T
talk
for
like
two-
that because I come from the Emerald Isles. You know what I mean? A lot of winners. Well, Ruby.
Anyway.
Ruby.
Ruby
Let me
Murray,
down.
as you called him earlier. Now, how did Lizzie Kelly's horse get on?
It fell at the second, I think.
That's right.
Is it? Was it the second?
Fell at the second fence. Unseated the rider.
Yeah.
So lovely as she may or may not be.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't know why we're talking about this. We should be talking about what's happening today in the football world.
£260, man of the people.
Yes.
So you just dropped that in literally a nanosecond.
£210, I'm afraid.
260. I've got the sheet here.
260 was it? Okay.
I've got it here.
Yeah, but I got 50 back.
You tweeted it out.
I got 50 back. So
No, you didn't.
I did.
Well, not really.
I did. I told you that when I went back in and put my, my slip across the. I was quite surprised to get 50, but I was going to give it all away actually. But
so
anyway.
£210 is what you dumped at the bookies
I was
in one fell swoop.
I was in rather an expensive sort of cocktail type bar.
Why?
And
what were you doing in a cocktail bar?
Watching it on the TV
in the afternoon.
Yeah,
because expensive cocktail bars always have the racing on, don't they?
That's right. Yeah.
Are you sure?
And the wine was £7.80 a glass. So
how many did you have?
About 5, because I was stressed. Unfortunately, yeah. But anyway, there we are.
So you had. I did tweet out, by the way. It was a typical day for Porky.
Yes, I'm afraid it was.
Straight into the pub at about 11 o'clock.
Oh no! I
bookies.
wasn't in the pub at 11 o'clock.
You tweeted out that you were heading for bladderation at, say, it was 11:15.
That was a joke tweet to somebody who said, what are you doing today? One of them sort of things.
By 2 o'clock, you were in the bookies throwing away money. By 4 o'clock, I assumed that you would be on the way home with some Domino's pizza. And by 8 o'clock, I assumed you would be comatose somewhere on the couch.
Well, you talk about comatose and all that, but you seem to have had a lively evening yourself, okay? You're in good shape this morning?
I'm very well, yeah.
Yeah, good, I'm glad to hear
in fact, we watched a movie with the kids. They wanted to watch The Bourne Legacy.
Yes.
Which is very good. Mm-hmm. Which is the one without Matt Damon.
Yes, that's right. The one where he comes over the mountain at the start.
Yes.
And then they're chased by drones.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, it's a good film.
And he puts the chip into the wolf, so the wolf
right.
gets blown away.
The wolf gets it.
Very good film.
Very good film. Do you know what the best part of that film is? Sorry, if you don't mind me saying.
Well, I'm glad you've seen it, so we can actually discuss it properly.
Exactly. You know the female scientist who witnessed all the shootings inside the laboratory?
Rachel Weisz?
Rachel Weisz, is that the actress?
That's her.
That's her,
She's English.
English,
She's also in The Mummy.
Oh, she's in The Mummy, is she? Yeah, okay.
She's quite famous.
So she goes back...
She's not married to Daniel Craig.
Is she?
I think so.
Oh, right. Is that the woman? Oh, okay. That makes sense, yeah. So she goes back...
What do you mean it makes sense?
Well, it makes sense.
What sort of a journalist are you?
I've seen him walking around with a very good-looking lady. Now, what I'm saying is, she goes back...
Who happens not to be a jockey.
That's right, yeah. She goes back after witnessing this massacre, doesn't she, inside her own laboratory, shell-shocked and all that. And she goes to this dilapidated house she's bought in Connecticut, doesn't she?
I don't know exactly where it's meant to be, but it's like Connecticut.
Yeah, it is, yeah. And it's in the middle of a forest and all that. Then the CIA turn up in a fleet of black cars.
Well, because they're trying to kill her.
Well, this is the very point. And they come under the guise of being... psychotherapists and analysts to help her.
Yep.
And they say, sit down and all that. Then the guy goes off to find her gun. Because...
And the woman who plays the head sort of honcho in that situation...
The head psychoanalyst,
is the president-elect in the new version of Homeland. Because the new version of Homeland was shot before the election, and they were so sure Hillary Clinton was going to win.
Oh my God!
That they made the new president a woman.
Wonderful. But anyway, the point I'm making is once they reveal themselves as assassins, they come there to literally kill her.
Literally.
Yeah, but old Jason Bourne is on the ball and he's there. He says to her, doesn't he? He says, "You have to do everything I tell you
exactly
to the second."
As I tell you, yes.
Exactly as I tell you.
He gives her his watch.
That's right. And then he goes out the house, climbs up the walls and the back, and comes round in. And then he blows them all away in about 4 seconds. And she, at the right moment, steps out of a cupboard and blows the other guy away. Brilliant stuff. I love it.
It is. Yeah.
Love it. I love to see people blown away.
Do you?
Yeah. Particularly when they're going downstairs and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Don't you?
Well, no, not really.
I do. That's what makes a great film.
Anyway, a couple of tweets here. Martin says, this Porky jinxed himself in the Gold Cup. What a mug punter.
What do you mean, a mug punter?
And Andy says, tell Porky it's a quarter of the odds, not a third.
Oh, it's a quarter. That's right. Yeah, it is. Yeah,
£100 on a horse, £25 each way. Man of the people, says Renton. Money to burn, Porky.
No.
Is that all those royalties from Rooney Tune? Now, interestingly enough...
That's very nice.
Interestingly enough...
Because we're talking, of course, to Alan Stubbs later on in this show.
We're going to ask him about Wayne Rooney.
Man who knows Wayne Rooney better than anybody.
While he's listening to the show, it'd be good for him to hear this, because you've, of course, famously written a book called Rooney Tunes, which was published, I believe, in 2006.
No, it was published in 2006, before the World Cup in South Africa.
Yeah.
No, in Germany. Germany.
World Cup in South Africa, which he went to, was in 2010.
It was, you're right.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, here is the latest review, which has come in only about a month or so ago.
Oh, excellent. Good.
And the headline says, rubbish book, poor author.
What?
Full of incorrect facts and sweeping fictitious generalisations.
What?
Slapdash compilation put together in a rush with a cavalier disregard for the truth.
God.
The author has jumped on the Rooney bandwagon to try to cash in on the lad. Rooney and the punters who buy this book deserve much better than this and certainly should receive an apology and their money back.
That's disgraceful. I tell you what, I don't know who sent that in, but we'll be hearing from my lawyers.
It says it does not even warrant half a star.
Oh, that's terrible.
That's tremendous. It could be the book review of the year, though.
It wasn't meant to be a biography. It was called Rooney Tunes because it examined all aspects of his life.
No, it didn't.
His rise to fame, his star appeal.
The first 30 pages are all about how he saved your life. It's got nothing to do with Wayne Rooney.
That's true, actually. That's true.
Absolute rubbish.
When a shirt signed by Wayne Rooney arrived in the hospital, where I was literally hours probably from expiring. Probably 36 hours.
You see,
the doctor said it was a turning point.
People are beginning to get the idea about you now, right? From piloting helicopters to driving submarines underwater.
Well, I never said anything about
all
submarines.
The rubbish that you've come out with over the years,
Mm.
including this nonsense that you were supposedly 36 hours from death. Well, nobody believes a word you say anymore.
Well, I can only tell it as it is. I have had a fantastical life, that's absolutely true, but I can only tell it as it is. What am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to deny, the passage in the course of my life? Talking about the passage in the course of our life,
yes.
George Osborne, the new editor of the London Evening Standard.
Well, not soon to be. Editor, taken over in May.
I heard you defending him on our sister station yesterday.
I was defending him, yeah. Well, I was asked by Talk Radio to give my esteemed
rubbish
view.
Appointment.
Well, it's not a rubbish appointment because, the Evening Standard, to be honest, I could edit it in part-time.
Yeah.
It only put out about 1.5 editions now, and most of the stuff's done overnight, and you're done by lunchtime.
No, but hang on, mate. That's like saying to a retired High Court judge, I tell you what, why don't you go and be an architect and build a new building? And when he built it, it collapsed and killed everybody. It's irresponsible.
How is it irresponsible putting George Osborne?
George Osborne has never been a journalist.
The thing that I'm amazed about, he's never been an economist either, but nobody kicked up this kind of fuss when they made him Chancellor of the Exchequer, which was a far more dangerous job than running a newspaper in Kensington, by the way.
Made complete cobblers of that as
well. Well, he did, but nobody got upset about it and said, oh, by the way, what's the same with Ed Balls? Well, why are we making this guy, in charge why are we putting this guy in charge of the economy?
Unbelievable, I tell you.
So we'll talk some more about that. We'll have some advice for him, because we've got a couple of friends over at the Standard who are going to be schooling him, I'm sure,
that's right,
precisely what he should be doing. First lesson is, head straight out to Davies Wine Bar and see how many bottles you can get down your neck before afternoon conference.
That's right, absolutely. Do you know what I'd like? I'd like the production editor to rush in one day and say to George Osborne, George, shall we reverse ferret Theresa May? And see what he says.
Yeah, well, you never know. You may have already tried that before. This is TalkSport. We are the two mics on the warm-up. Loads of football to come. We've got Nottingham Forest against Derby coming up a bit later on, of course. We'll be finding out what the team news is there. 2 new managers, again, for the 5th season in a row. I think for the last 5 times they've met, they have actually had different managers in the dugout, which is an extraordinary state of affairs. I think they've had 10 managers, Nottingham Forest, in 5 years. Anyway, we want to talk about lots of other things as well. The England squad was picked just the other day by Gareth Southgate. No Wayne Rooney. Ross Barkley got a mention. No Theo Walcott. Quite a few sort of bits of, shall we say, controversy.
I would say so.
And also Everton have been very much dominating the news this week.
They certainly have.
With Lukaku's contract being discussed and all the rest of it. So who better to talk to about all of that than young Mr. Alan Stubbs?
Yeah, indeed.
A man who, of course, has spent a lot of time at Everton and has been around
great distinction.
1 or 2 managerial positions as well. Alan, a very good morning to you. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Mike. Good morning, Mike.
Yeah, good morning, Stubbsy. Thanks very much for joining us. Stubbsy, listen, we'll talk to you about the broader picture with Everton and all that, but I particularly wanted to talk to you about Wayne Rooney because, if my memory serves me right, were you at Wrexham the night he scored 2 goals? Because I was there, and I'm sure I saw you. I'm sure I saw the first time I saw you with him. Would that make sense?
Yeah, probably is like that, Mike.
Yeah, that's right. And
you've got a better memory than me.
Yeah, well, it's a bit older.
There's not many people say that to him, to be fair.
Yeah, when you have problems at my age, you can remember what happened 30 years ago, but not yesterday. No, Stubbsy, what I was going to say was, is it fair to say that you did become a mentor to Wayne Rooney in his very early years at Everton?
I think what I did at the time was probably what I would be honest and say any other senior pro would do with a young lad coming through, and you try and help him and steer him in the right direction and point and prod him and in certain decisions. And I felt as if I was just doing what any other person would do, but thankfully, he's gone on and he's done absolutely amazing.
But I mean, I'm sure you'd have done that to a whole dressing room full of young lads. But did you see something? Did we all know there was something rather special about him in those days? When he was 16, 17, just on the verge of breaking through.
Well, I think we'd all heard what everybody else had heard as pros there, and then one day this young lad turns up and he trained with us for the first time, and I can assure you that when we all came off, certainly the senior pros, it was like, wow, where's this boy come from? And then after that, you know, he did everything what we all thought. You know, I'd never seen anything like it for a young boy to come on a training pitch and do what he did.
Yeah.
You know, we knew we had a special talent from day one.
Yeah, right. And he always had that kind of winner's attitude in a way, didn't he? But I mean, is he now? Are we now looking at kind of the twilight of his career, because he's not been picked for the first time by an England coach since he started playing for England, other than for being out because of injury. And Manchester United isn't looking as though they're going to be maybe starting him very often in the new season.
Yeah, I think what you have to remember is that Wayne's been on the England scene and the Man United scene from such a young age, and he's been the talisman for both of them over the last 10 years, and he's done it at such a high level consistently that this day was, well, I'm not saying it's the end, but it was inevitable that the England thing was going to come to an end sooner or later, and I think we should be embracing what he's done, because for someone of his ability, he's took a lot of criticism for England's performances, which I personally feel is very unfair.
Yeah, I do as well. I think I'm not a professional footballer, Alan, but he wants to do so much on a football field that if the ball isn't coming to him, he goes looking for it and trying to find it. And he's so busy, isn't he?
He's a winner, Wayne, and he wants to win at all costs. And the thing with his Wayne was because he's been so good, he would try and do someone else's job and all.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and he would look to be doing 2 and 3 people's jobs and that isn't a strength of Wayne, is because if other people did their jobs, then Wayne would be able to concentrate purely on his job. But because he was so good, he would try and help, and the way he is as a person, he would try and help other people on the pitch, and he would get knocked for that sometimes, which I feel is very unfair too.
Very unfair.
Absolutely right. Yeah. Watching the story unfold at Everton this season has been interesting, Alan, because of course Ronald Koeman has been thought to be doing a pretty good job, but now there's a worry that he might be tapped up by Barcelona possibly, and now Lukaku's saying he's not going to sign a new contract. What do you think is going to happen before the summer?
Well, hopefully Everton finish the season off the way they have done from Christmas. They've been on a great run of form, so I'm hoping it doesn't have an impact on the tail end of the season for Everton with the news of Romelu. But I think the manager handled it very, very well. In the press conferences over the last couple of days, Romelu, he's been in negotiations with the club. It's not been about money. It's just been about a release clause. And he's still got 2 years left in his contract. And worst case scenario, he's either there for 2 years or Everton are going to sell him. And I think they're the two outcomes.
Yeah,
what we're looking at.
I totally agree. They are the two options. Agents are a vital part of the game, but sometimes they can cause unnecessary situations. If Lukaku left, Al, surely then Everton just say, we are a big enough club now to get over this. We will find somebody who will do the job that Lukaku's been doing. That's what we've got to concentrate on, just in case it happens, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I think the biggest gripe with Romelu is that he wants to see the club's ambition, and he wants to see the club moving forward. But what I would turn now and then to Romelu and say, well, with the new chairman, Moshiri, coming in, you've got to give him a chance, because he's only really had one window to show which direction Everton want to go in. And, and he's certainly put his money where his mouth is. He's brought in Schneiderlin, which has been a great signing. Yeah. I'm sure Everton are going to be very, very active in the summer, and they're going to be looking to spend, a lot of money. And Everton suddenly can't become a Champions League team in the space of 6 months or 1 year.
Yeah, that's right.
You have to grow towards that, and I think if Romelu is a little bit more patient, then I'm pretty sure, in fact I'm adamant that he will see Mr. Moshiri's ambition in terms of what he's got in terms for what he's got in plans for the club going forward.
Yeah, no, I totally agree.
It's going to be an interesting season. Listen, Alan, thank you very much. Al,
thanks very much indeed. Hope to see you at Goodison soon.
Everton, of course, taking on Hull City a little bit later on. Your favourite city, the city of culture.
If we win today, with United not playing till tomorrow, we'll leap over them.
Oh, will you?
For at least 24 hours.
So into 6th place, which will be a bit of a milestone, won't it? Because Everton have been 7th for a long time.
Yeah, we have, yeah.
I mean, no matter what they did, they seem to end up being 7th.
I totally agree, because United have been consistent, we've been consistent, West Brom below us have been consistent, and nothing's really moved.
I'll tell you what's interesting is that Arsenal, although they've got 2 games in hand on the top 4, are basically in a position now where even if they win today against West Brom, they still don't get above 5th.
No, that's true, but they've got 6 points in the locker, so to speak.
Well, you say that, but you never know. Now, a couple of these tweets to read out. This is actually a text. Roger from Mansfield said, Porky was talking about the Bourne legacy, which Bourne wasn't actually in. So Jason Bourne is not in it, just so that you know that.
No, hang on.
Jason Bourne's not in it.
No, Matt Damon's not in it. No, Jason Bourne is, isn't he?
No. Matt Damon is Jason Bourne, right? He's not in it.
No, well, hang on. Who's the guy then who sticks the pellet into the wolf's body?
Well, he's another one of the operatives, but he's not Jason Bourne.
I thought he was playing Jason Bourne. I thought they referred to him as Jason Bourne in that.
No, Jason Bourne is somebody else.
Oh, no,
they see him.
They had pictures of him, didn't they, back in
and they say
Virginia.
Jason Bourne is alive, and they say
he's
Jason
around.
Bourne is around, he's moving.
Absolutely
now, how about this
right.
from somebody called Timco?
Helicopter pilot. Stupid name.
Helicopter pilot Porky. Compared to Porky, Walter Mitty is a pragmatist. So due to Porky, Gosport is now being renamed Fantasy Island.
Honestly, what you do for my reputation is immeasurably bad.
When was the last time you flew a helicopter again?
It was 2003 or 4, about then. Or it might have been 6 or 7, I can't remember. But the flight records down at Red Hill Aerodrome will be available.
You've tried to rename it now because you realise you made your error of your ways. You called it Reigate Airport the other day.
Yeah. Well, it's between Red Hill and Reigate, to be honest.
Talk sport. Talk Sport, we are the 2 mics on the warm-up. We've got loads going on, as I say. We're going to go to Nigel Pearson, who's at the Hawthorns in a moment, for some team news. A couple of tweets first. Here's one from Rob Clark, who says, the Bourne legacy starred the actor Jeremy Rimmer. I'm afraid it's Jeremy Renner, actually.
Oh, Renner, is it? Yeah, get your facts right,
Rimmer was it Jimmy Rimmer was a goalkeeper for Man United, wasn't he?
Jimmy Rimmer was quite a famous goalkeeper for United because he
was at Aston Villa as well.
No, I was going to say he went to Aston Villa, and I think he won the league title with Aston Villa.
Anyway, Rob, so thanks very much for that. You said he played an entirely different character and they used the Bourne name to cash in on the franchise. Yeah. And Porky's a numpty, says Mark in Lincoln. If Everton win and go above United, it's only because they've played 3 games more than United. Yeah, well,
we've also talked about Arsenal having 2 games in hand. I'm sorry, mate, as old MG here pointed out quite prosaically, it's the points in the bag, isn't it, that count, not the points you haven't played for yet.
And Hugh says Red Hill Aerodrome is southeast of Red Hill. Reigate is to the west.
Yes.
#plank.
Yeah, it's on the same county. It's called Surrey.
Yeah, 1 million square miles.
That's right. That's right. So don't worry about it.
We've got loads more to come. Somebody called Bunsen has found a very interesting Mike Parry, namesake of yours, who apparently is a politician in the United States of America.
Really?
He's in the Minnesota Senate.
The Minnesota
Senate. And he belongs to the Republican Party of Minnesota.
Really?
Believe it or not, he's sponsored by Godfather's Pizza.
No, he's not.
Yeah, he is. It says it there. Look, Mike Parry, politician.
Well, can you sponsor politicians?
Well, of course, in America. Yeah, of course you can. How do you think they get into power?
Well, exactly. But, I mean, can you do it in this country?
Well, yes, but not in the same way.
No, you can't.
I mean, in America, the good thing is that they know where the money's coming from because they have to declare it. Here, that's right. You have to write it down in a register of interest, and somebody has to bother to go look for it.
That's right, and sometimes they don't.
You know, many Labour politicians are sponsored by trade unions.
Sure.
Many Conservative politicians are sponsored by bankers.
No, sure, I totally agree with you.
It's a filthy business, but we'll talk about George Osborne a little bit later on.
It is a filthy business.
Talk Sport, we are the 2 mics, and it is the warm-up. Alan has tweeted in. He says, Porky loves seeing people getting blown away. He just keeps revealing more and more about his weird personality.
Well, hang on. The reason millions of people go to the cinema to see action movies like Jason Bourne and like, all those that, what's his name did, the Australian great actor in...
Hey? Mel Gibson.
Mel Gibson, yeah, what were they called?
That was a while ago. What, Lethal Weapon?
Lethal Weapon. The reason is people
love... It was a long time ago, that.
They love to see violence and action, that's what it's all about. That's why, in the end, the James Bond films had to change their genre to gear themselves up to the Jason Bourne level.
Are they filming a new one with Daniel Craig, by the way, or have they not decided yet?
No, I think they are. I think they are.
Yeah, Daniel Craig, who said he'd rather gouge his eyes out with a rusty spoon than be in another one. And they went, how about 30 million? He went, yeah, okay.
I was going to say, very cleverly adds another 30 million.
Now, how about this from Andrew? He says, I'm listening to you as usual on a Saturday, and my 7-year-old son says, why do you listen to these crazy men?
Crazy men, because we're all crazy, my boy. I tell you what, that's interesting that a young school lad is listening to us, because do kids these days, you've got 2 boys of sort of collectible age, do kids these days
collectible age?
Yeah,
what do you mean by that?
Still collect these stickers and stick them into albums of their favourite footballers and all that?
Not really. I mean, they got into sort of Pokemon playing a little bit for a while. At the moment, the current craze that they're involved with is having a scooter and doing tricks and stuff. And you know, like the previous generation, like my older son, was a skateboarder,
right,
and still is a skateboarder, even though he's now 22.
Yes,
the kids now are on these little scooters, which I don't know if you see them when you.
Yeah, I do. I see them all the time.
And so they go to these skate parks,
right?
And in fact, I'll be taking them to one probably tomorrow.
Okay.
And they do these tricks, tricks, and stunts and half pipes and all the rest of it.
And do they are they constantly pulling at your trousers, saying, "I want a new scooter, Dad," like they do for trainers and that sort of stuff?
Well, not only that, I've because I'm trying to imbue them with a sense of financial responsibility.
You?
Yeah.
You?
I know, it sounds ridiculous, right? However...
a man who lost £1 million house in New York.
Yeah, well, I lost £1 million house because you moved out of it.
No.
Yes, I did.
You know, a man who wastes £85 on a bottle of champagne.
75, I think.
Yeah, 75.
By the way, I've just been texted by my wine merchant.
Oh, yes.
You know, you buy too much wine, they start texting you.
They certainly do,
you know? Anyway, one of them, my younger son decided he wanted a new scooter.
Yes.
And they're not cheap. They're 120 quid, these things.
That's quite expensive for a bit of folding
metal. Well, he
metal.
bought one last year.
Right,
for about 80, but apparently that's no good now, so he needs to get another one.
Really?
Yeah.
Wants a top model.
So he wants a top model.
Yeah.
And I
probably seen his father waste a lot of money on a top car.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Not wasted, really, though, is it? Because it looks a lot better than yours.
Yeah, it's not better than mine.
Been recalled yet, or has it just burst into flames?
No, there's nothing wrong with mine. No.
Anyway, right, so I said, well, I'll tell you what, I'll do you a deal. I said, because I'm not in favour of buying things for them.
Yeah.
You know, he gets a bit of pocket money. I said, look, if you save up half the money, I will lend you the other half.
What's that, £60?
60 quid, right?
That's a lot of money for
yesterday I picked him up from school.
12-year-old kid to have to find.
But he gets money from, he gets sort of Christmas money, he gets holiday money, he got money from...
You got a job yet?
Well, he hasn't got. He's 10. He hasn't got a job.
Well, can't he go and?
You're not allowed to work at the age of 10. It's not.
You are. If you
Victorian Britain, shove him up a chimney or something.
No. If you live in a sort of rural place,
so I
like
send him round to your place to clean the house.
No. Get him to go and see the local butcher or the local greengrocer and take deliveries out for old people.
You can't do
who
that.
will then give him £2 for taking their shopping round. That's what I used to do.
It's not an acceptable thing to do at the age of 10.
Of course it is.
No, it isn't.
It is.
Was that what you used to do?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
When you were 10.
Yes.
What size were you then?
What an idiot you are, honest to God.
I'm surprised they could see you
have
standing
no sense of social
the,
responsibility.
Anyway, so we went to the bank yesterday after school.
Right. You went to the bank? What, to arrange a loan for the scooter?
No, because he's got a bank account, right?
Right.
So he wanted to take some money out, but he's not allowed electronic banking yet, so you have to physically go in. And much to my surprise, they were actually really cooperative.
Right.
And they had him sign a little slip.
Yeah.
And he took out 30 quid, right?
Right.
Which he brought home.
What's he doing with that?
Well, he's going to give me 60, right? Trying to keep up with the story.
Yeah, but hang on. There's no good giving you 30 if he need. Where's the other 30 coming from?
When we got home, he had the other 30.
Squirreled away in cash.
Squirreled away in cash,
Oh, so he's up to something then.
So he has. Well, he gets pocket money. I've told you that.
Money,
you don't listen, do you?
Okay, go on. Yeah.
He gets £4 a week pocket money, right?
Maybe he's got some business going at school. You know, he flogs kids stuff at school. I used to do that as well.
But you were always kind of slightly underhanded, weren't you?
No,
I bet you were.
No, I wasn't.
I mean, you were always passing sort of dodgy items.
No, I wasn't. No.
Yeah, I think you were.
Yeah, no.
Anyway, so he gave me the 60 quid. So I said, okay. I said you can now choose between having a flat rate loan fee, which will be £10, or you can take it as £2 a month. And depending on how long it takes you to repay.
Sorry, this is a negotiation with your
my
blood
10-year-old
son.
Yes, my blood son.
Yeah, and you are actually arranging a loan structured with interest payments.
Yeah, because I wanted to understand that
how outrageous.
If you borrow money, you have to pay for it.
A disgrace.
You know, you can't just get free money.
I would just go and buy him the scooter, because that's the sort of guy I am.
You see, that spoils them.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does. Because that's what I did last time.
You say, listen, no, do you know?
I bought him the scooter last time, right?
Okay.
And now, a year later, he wants another one.
What I would say to if it was my son, I'd say, look, son, I'm going to go and buy you a scooter. And do you know why? Because I want you to know that when you grow up, you will have the money and the power to buy things you want for your children.
Well, how do you teach him that? By buying him everything?
Because you say, if you want to be as good as me,
parent of all.
If you want to be as good as me, you've got to work hard. Anyway, I only asked you the question in the first place because, believe it or not, in the antique markets, some of these sticker albums from like the 1970s and all that are fetching huge money.
Are they?
And I'm talking about, like £8,000-9,000.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I used to do it as a kid.
Panini.
Do you remember the Panini sticker books? Well, people were
That's
still
right.
collecting those here. Whenever the Euros were on,
That's
or whenever
right.
like the World Cup was on.
That's right.
People, the grown men are actually doing it.
It's right. That's
But,
absolutely
I
right.
mean, I haven't been into doing stuff like that. Do you remember, one of the things I remember collecting was one World Cup, and I don't know if it was 1970 or 74.
Right.
But somebody like Esso, or one of the garages, did coins.
Yes, I remember them. You put them in a card.
And you put the coins in a card, and they were all the players in the World Cup.
That's right, yeah. But you see, when I was at school, I never got into the stickers thing. I thought it was too childish.
Did you?
The idea of taking
No money in
pictures
it for you.
Taking pictures of footballers and licking the back of it and sticking it in your album.
Did you not play
and all
that game up against the wall in the playground where you flick the cards, and then if you flick the last card down, you got everybody else's cards?
No, I never
You didn't play that?
No, I didn't.
So you didn't even have any friends at school, did you?
No, I had schools, but I thought
I bet you didn't.
thought it was very childish sticking these stickers in. But anyway, if I had done and I'd squirreled them away somewhere, it'd be worth quite a lot of money now. A full set of Panini, which has been going, by the way, since 1961. Could fetch you, £5,000 or £6,000 for a completed album from the era of Dino Zoff, Gordon Banks, Bobby Charlton and Pele. Some of them sell for up to £5,000 on eBay. That's amazing.
Yes, shocking stuff. Well, I mean, mate, you look through some of your stuff in the loft or whatever it is, where you keep all the old stuff, and see whether there's stuff there worth money.
Well, I have one particular scrapbook which has the report of from every national newspaper on the morning after Everton won the league championship in 1963.
That certainly would be an antique.
Yeah, it would be. Yeah. And by the way, they would only give it literally, they would give it one-page lead, and Everton won the championship last night by beating so-and-so, and that kind of stuff.
Right.
But these days, you'd do like a 4-page pullout on it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see, now, you've made people think the wrong thing here.
Why?
Stephen says, is my MG the tightest person on the
exactly,
planet?
exactly.
Go on, Porky, buy the scooter.
Yeah, exactly.
Hashtag man
I might come down, and I might just say to your lad,
no.
sorry that your old fella's such a tightwad, but here, son, there's 120, you go and get yourself your scooter. I don't think children should have to.
Because that's what you normally do, right? You buy everything, don't you? You buy your friendships.
What do you mean?
You buy your relationships. You pay for everything because nobody wants to actually be with you just because of the fact that they want to be your friend.
An outrageous
you have to bribe
statement.
them.
An outrageous
Your kids would be the same. What are we playing this for?
I tell you why I'm playing this. Don't you feel that sometimes you measure the progress of your life against the lives of others?
No.
I do. And that's why I always
Why?
pay attention to...
What, do you mean you decide whether or not you're doing okay in the world, depending on how everybody else is doing?
Yes, some of that, but mostly about how we grow up and how the decades go by. And I always take a look at my registers in the morning of birthdays and that kind of stuff.
Registers?
Yes.
What, in the papers?
No. The registers
What
of
registers?
the genealogy register of births.
What, do you get that delivered every day?
No, I have it online, and it's of births and deaths and that kind of stuff.
Birth, deaths and marriages?
Not the marriages, not necessarily interested in that, because not enough people get married these days. But anyway, Irene Cara, famous for Fame, right? 58.
Yeah. Flashdance,
that's
not
right.
Fame.
Yeah. Well,
something else.
Yeah, no, she was the singer and actress in Fame, wasn't she?
Well, was she?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes, absolutely certain.
Was she not either one or the other?
Well, she didn't sing that one. That was who was that? Sorry, who sang that one?
Which one?
Flashdance.
Well, that's Irene Cara.
Irene Cara, that's right. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm
She
saying.
didn't sing Fame.
No, she didn't sing Fame, but she was in Fame.
She was in Fame.
She was in Fame, yeah.
Was she sure about that?
I'm certain of that.
Well, the TV show or the movie?
No. Singer and actress.
Why
Fame,
are we doing this?
1980. Because I'm telling you why.
You don't know what you're talking about.
I am weighing my life up against others. Now, what was so interesting is that's Irene Cara's birthday today. She's 58.
Right.
Tomorrow.
Okay.
Tomorrow. What is the most erotic...
We're doing a show tomorrow, you know.
We're doing a show tomorrow between 4 and 6. It's called The Warm Down.
Yeah.
Don't miss it. We'll blow your socks off.
Yeah.
Now, what is the most erotic scene...
It's a family show, this.
Yes, I know. No. This is very clean. Don't worry.
No.
What has been voted the most erotic scene ever in a film over the last 60 years? It's Ursula Andress coming out of the water in Dr. No. Ursula.
No, it isn't.
It is.
Rubbish.
It is.
Who voted that?
Everybody.
When?
So Ursula...
When?
Oh, well, constantly.
This is a film that was made over 50 years ago.
I said that. I said 60 years ago.
Well, I think you might find that other people have put other entries in since then.
No, it's the original one of her coming out of the water in...
What was the name of the film?
It was called Dr. No.
Yeah.
It was Jamaica, and she came out of the water in the white bikini.
Uh-huh.
Nobody had even seen a bikini in those days. There weren't any bikinis around except in the south of France, you know.
Well, I don't think that's
No,
true.
there weren't.
Actually.
There weren't. You know, if you went down to...
Well, there might not have been any in your street in Chester.
No, if you went to the beach on Rhyl or...
In Rhyl?
Yeah, in Rhyl, in North Wales, or in South End or something like that. You didn't see women in bikinis.
Right.
They all had one-piece suits. So she comes out of the water. Anyway...
Have you got any references which are any part of this century?
Hang on. Ursula Andress, 81 today.
Right.
Can you imagine that?
Well, many happy returns.
Can you imagine
tomorrow.
that? Eh?
I thought it was tomorrow.
Tomorrow, 81 tomorrow. And guess who else has got a birthday tomorrow?
I don't know. Dr. No.
No, Glenn Close.
Really?
Fatal Attraction.
Oh, yeah.
That was a turning point film, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, frightening film. That, for a lot of people.
Which phrase did that introduce into the English lexicon?
Which phrase?
Towards the end.
Towards the end.
Pan on, pan on stove.
The bunny boiler.
Bunny boiler,
Bunny
absolutely,
boiler.
yeah, because
right.
we're boiling the bunny in the...
Yeah, it was a terribly frightening film, that, for a lot of men.
Yeah, that was the first one, wasn't it, that did her dead in the bath, but then she wasn't. She came screaming back with the knife.
They filmed about 4 different endings.
Oh, did they?
The one that they proved the most popular with the audience, which is what they still do nowadays in some movies. Right?
Okay.
The one that was proved the most popular was for her to be killed by the woman.
Yes, that's
by
right.
the wife.
That's right.
Because they had another one where she survived.
Right.
Another one where Michael Douglas kills her.
Yes.
But the audience much preferred it when the wife killed her.
Yes, that's right, of
Because
course,
that
yeah.
was
Wife's
seen as-
revenge.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, she says halfway through the film, doesn't she? You come in my family again, in my children, I
Yeah.
will kill you.
Yes.
And so that was the ultimate legacy. But I just think it's amazing when you...
Well, there'll be whole sort of generations of people who have no idea what you're talking about with any of that stuff.
Yeah. But, I mean, just to look at the other side of the coin, the male side of the coin. No, you're
Yeah.
right. You're right. Bruce Willis.
yeah.
Bruce Willis is 62 tomorrow. How about that?
Can we talk about somebody who's under 30?
Well, you can if you like. Footballers are under 30, so we're talking about them all the way through the show
before
today.
we talk to Peter Conradi from the Sunday Times,
Yes.
who I'm sure is going to raise the standard of this conversation.
Yes.
Here's one from Pete, who says, typical Porky, bring a child up like that and you would raise a sociopathic tyrant.
No, I wouldn't, mate. No, I wouldn't.
Martin says, £4 a week is too little, you tightwad. The going rate's been a tenner for years.
There you go.
I don't think that.
There you
and
go.
David says, the scooter deal with Mike's son is a great parenting. If Mike Parry had kids, they'd be spoilt brats with no friends.
No, they wouldn't. They'd be happy children.
And a lot of people would
My
like me to
children
finish
would be
the
better
story.
than other children.
Yeah, of course they would. That's exactly what you would say.
Yes.
Narcissistic. Let's talk to Peter Conradi,
Indeed.
who's the Sunday Times foreign editor. Peter, very good morning to you. Afternoon, I should say.
Good afternoon.
How are you? Time flies when you're talking about things that happened 50 years ago.
Yeah, but Pete, I bet you remember that scene, don't you? Ursula Andress coming out of the sea.
I do indeed, yes, and
course.
I remember the boiled bunny as well.
Exactly.
There you go.
That's
Well,
quite
you
right.
sound a lot younger than you must be then. Anyway, let's talk about what you've got coming up in the paper. Another amazing week for Donald Trump. His spokesman accuses GCHQ of spying on him with the help of Barack Obama. He then refuses to shake the hand of Angela Merkel.
Yeah.
What have you got for us tomorrow?
Yeah, no, it is amazing, isn't it? We thought he had gone a bit quiet for a few days, but as ever, that was deceptive. And as you say, he sort of started off again. You know, that someone gave him his phone back, I suppose, and he started tweeting away. The Merkel visit has been interesting. There were sort of wonderful scenes when he was sort of sitting next to her, as you was probably seeing on the TV, and the photographers were calling out as they always do. You know, shake hands. And he just was just staring there glumly and not wanting to go anywhere near. I mean, quite a contrast with Theresa May, if you remember, when she was over there a few weeks ago.
Exactly.
And there they were tripping along hand in hand down the ramp.
Yeah.
But that was why it was even more bizarre for him to accuse sort of Britain of somehow being in cahoots with Obama.
Yeah, but you see, this is basically, he seems to get most of his information from watching TV, which is a little bit alarming.
Well, not worse than that. We're going watching Fox TV.
Well, exactly. Well, I'll say nothing agast Fox TV.
Why is that?
It's because it's owned by Rupert Murdoch.
That's good.
Well, so's Talk Sport. But, you know.
Good career move. Yeah.
Very fine station. But, it's someone appeared on the channel saying this, and, on the basis of no evidence whatsoever, and Trump just repeated it, which is just extraordinary, really. And, GCHQ were very, very upset. And
can you imagine him sitting in the Oval Office where the aides kind of arrive with their equivalent of the red boxes, to say, here you are, Mr. President,
Got to sign all
here's
these papers.
the briefing papers on your meeting with, Angela Merkel tomorrow. And he just says, no, don't worry about it. I'm just going to watch O'Reilly and Company on Fox News, thanks.
Well, I think it's like that because there was one aide who was talking about how different presidents want different kind of briefing materials, and they said that typically Obama would want long, detailed documents. George W. Bush, who had a bit of a short attention span, liked them a bit snappier. But I mean, it seems if Trump would like these briefings reduced to 140 characters, so he can just kind of tweet them on to the nation. I think
you're absolutely right. Now, talking about matters abroad, Paris shootings. Anything sinister here, Pete, or are we looking at an isolated incident?
Well, it's still early days. I mean, what we know so far is that a man attacked or was stopped at a police checkpoint in the north of Paris. He fired at the police, hijacked a car, went off to Orly Airport. Tried to grab a gun from one of the army who was on duty there, and got shot by her colleagues. I mean, this is all alarming because we shouldn't forget that William and Kate are in Paris at the moment.
Yes.
And there's a big rugby match coming up this afternoon as well, isn't there?
There is indeed, yes, which is from a security point of view is obviously a massive thing. And I mean, ironically, they are in Paris partly not just for the match, but also for a ceremony to mark the people that were killed in the Bataclan disaster, November of 2015. So it just shows that these kind of sporadic terror incidents are still there and they're still happening. I mean, this guy was known to French police. He was known as a low-level Islamic or Islamist terrorist. So it's an alarming place, really.
Yeah, no, it is an alarming place indeed.
Now, you've also got an interesting sort of take on the Romelu Lukaku situation. Lukaku. That is always something that Mr. Parry does because he's an Everton fan, and whenever he hears Lukaku's name, he has to in some way, speak it like that. What have you found on this one, Peter?
Well, I mean, I'm just really fascinated by it, and just fascinated by what kind of reaction the fans are going to give him today. I mean, what do you think?
Well, I hope there will be no reaction. My view, and probably the same as yours, Peter, is every man is entitled to improve himself and get himself a better job if he thinks that's the case. However, there's a lot of hysteria about this one. This is not cut and dried at all. We have agents in the game now who are the middlemen between clubs and players. They have to optimise and maximise their players' role in life, but also their own position and the club's position. So I don't think it's over.
Certainly is not. Well, no. Peter, as ever, thank you very much indeed. Peter Conradi there, Sunday Times foreign editor. Loads and loads of good foreign stories there will be in the paper tomorrow. Lots of other stuff as well, no doubt, around Brexit, around Scotland.
You'll be carrying that Sunday Times around like, a weight.
Well, in my case, I'll be carrying it around on my iPad, actually.
Yeah, of course you will.
I tend to read it because I don't like to have the strain of carrying the entire paper. Now, we've got loads and loads of interesting tweets here. Another one from Dave. Lots of people have said they'd like to know how the story ends, so I'm going to tell you how it ends. Yes. He chose, by the way, the one-off £10 fee.
Really?
Rather than the monthly fee.
Tight one.
Which shows you...
I couldn't negotiate payments with my children.
What it shows you, right, is that he was more interested in taking that longer to pay it back, because that means he can take as long as he likes to pay it back, whereas if he'd taken the monthly, it would have meant that, after 4 months, 5 months, it would have meant that he'd be paying more of a fee. So only making 10 quid on the deal. I don't know why you make me make
a big thing 10 quid out of my, 12-year-old son.
It's
you
10.
should be ashamed.
It's 10.
10 quid out of his 10-year-old son. I want you to send us some tweets telling me and telling the world how disgraceful this man is as a parent.
Not true. Dave has sent one already. He says, I think the interesting is a great idea, teaching kids about the real world. Once my kids are old enough, I will do the same. And here's one from Dr. John, who says, if Mike Parry compares his life to others, compared to Bill Gates, he might as well join the tramps for some afternoon bladderation.
Well, Bill Gates is the richest man in the world. Yeah. So that goes for everybody else on the planet, not just me.
Yeah, but nobody else cares about them comparing themselves with other people. Because your problem is that you're so unsure of yourself that you have to come up on top of the pile of something.
I'm not unsure about anything.
Well, you should be.
I have no unsurety.
Really?
No.
This is TalkSport. 8 minutes' time. We've got some great action in the Championship as well. But just before we go to Don McGuinness, who's up at Blackburn Preston in 1 second, let me just say this. It is a birthday shout-out to Dave McGarry, right, because his sister, very kindly, who's called Fiona, was trying to get her hands on one of our DVDs live in Edinburgh, right? Yes. And it was proving a bit difficult. And she was very patient, and she put up with a lot of problems because we've had to change our distributors over, and the website business has been all a bit confusing. But I think she's finally sorted it out, and I think he has now finally got the DVD for his birthday.
Okay.
So I don't know how old he is, but it's
Right.
Dave McGarry. Happy birthday.
And is that today?
It is today.
Dave, happy birthday. And Fiona, well done for being a great sister.
You think he's got the better deal there, Nottingham Forest or Derby? I mean, Gary Rowett was doing brilliantly at Birmingham,
He
or
was,
so,
yeah.
so the fans thought when he was given the heave-ho.
Yes.
Warburton not so much at Rangers, was he?
Well, it's difficult to say, because remember, when he went to Rangers, the one mission was to get them out of the Championship back into the Scottish Premiership, and they'd failed the year before. Do you know what I mean? Everybody thought it would be a rapid rise.
It was just the automatic.
Yeah, and they stalled in one season.
It wasn't that straightforward.
Yeah, they stalled in one season, and Warburton had to step in and do it. So I think he did a reasonable job at Rangers, but in terms of having to bring Rangers back to the level that Celtic are at now, that is a huge mission, and I don't blame him for getting frustrated in the end and coming back to England. But when you think that he only ever managed Brentford here, I wonder what the qualifications are for running, a big club like Nottingham Forest, a Championship challenging club that they want to be, with the credentials he's got. I'm not sure. I don't know too much about. He used to be a trader in the city. He used to be a money trader.
Warburton.
Yes, he did.
Yes,
yeah,
I understand he was quite successful at that.
Quite successful at that, I think. And then he went and did his coaching badges in youth football and all that, worked his way up. So, I wish him luck. From my days at the University of the Trent,
Yes.
I know that the rivalry.
Nottingham Polytechnic.
I know that the rivalry between Derby
Did you ever
County.
Did you ever go to any of those games, the Nottingham Forest Derby games?
No, I didn't actually.
Because they would have been First Division when you were there.
Yeah.
They would have been First Division.
Very
titles,
much so.
wouldn't they?
It was just a few years after Ian Storey-Moore was the great left winger at Nottingham Forest and Derby County. Of
Alan
course.
Hinton playing and all that.
Oh, well, the Derby County team, Roy McFarlane and all that, they were a top team. In fact,
Alan
I
Hinton
think
with his white boots.
I think Dave Mackay was.
Dave Mackay was Derby, yeah.
Dave Mackay was manager of Derby when they won their second Premier League, their First Division title after Brian Clough.
Look at this. Talking to this, somebody
Yeah.
sent me a picture
Right.
of the coins, the SO coins, and he's still got them. 1970 World Cup. I was right.
The SO sign means happy motoring.
all right.
The SO sign
calm
means
down.
happy
It's all right,
motoring.
we walked down memory lane.
That's
Those
incredible.
Those are the 1970 coins.
Yeah, I remember those. Yeah,
Incredible stuff.
Yeah. Well,
After I played you my amazing rare audio from the 60s that I found in my stuff, I'm going to start bringing in some more stuff because my mother gave me all kinds of stuff.
Oh, no. You haven't got any more of those, have you?
Not any more audio, no,
see
but I've
somebody-
got some great old stuff that she's been keeping for me.
You see, during the week, since you put that, horrendous recording
Most
of you
people
saying,
were quite touched by it.
Yeah.
Most people were quite touched by it.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, somebody took a picture.
Most of them said it was better sung than yours, actually.
You see, somebody took a picture of some knackered old shed-like looking place on Waterloo Station, and in fact, it was at one of them recording booths.
Yeah, well, that's what
you
they
could
used to
just
be.
walk in and do it.
I tell you what, I remember there
amazing.
used to be one at Golders Green bus station as
No.
well. Yeah, they were all
What,
over
a
the place.
recording booth?
Yeah, it was like a little recording booth.
How much did it used to cost to make your own record?
I think it was
2
about
and 6.
No, I think it was about a florin or something. It was
Was
like
it?
2 shillings. I mean, it wasn't much. It wasn't much. I mean, the guy's just tweeted me. He said that paying somebody £4 for pocket money is outstandingly poor.
Yeah, exactly.
He said that he was getting paid £2 a week. Back in the 70s when a pint cost 32p.
I think.
Anyway, there's far too many references
disgrace.
to the olden days going on here, so I'm going to ban it now for the next half hour.
Yeah.
No more references to anything that happened before the year 2000.
Well, hang on, you brought up Nottingham Forest and Derby, not me.
Well, they're playing this afternoon.
Yeah, I know, and you said, did you ever go into the games when
What's
you were there
wrong
at
with
the
you?
University of the Trent? So don't blame me for taking us back in time, pal.
All right, let's go forward in time instead, and hopefully you'll be so old that you won't be able to remember anything. You know what that music means, don't you?
Of course it is.
It's time for the 1 minute moan.
It's 1 minute moan.
Now, the moment, I think the score is a 7-4 to me, is it? Is that right? No, it's 8-3.
Is it?
No, it's 8-3.
I don't think so.
So I'm almost as
You
far
won't-
away
you won't
from.
win today, I can
I'm
promise
almost
you.
as far ahead as Chelsea are against everybody else in the top four.
Well, you won't win today.
All right. Well, would you like? Have you got one on Ed Balls today, or the Queen, or
no.
cyclists?
No.
Something
No.
different.
No.
Something different.
Yeah.
Would you like to go first?
No, you go first.
All right, I'm going to go first. You
Okay.
have to count me down.
Right, okay, I'm going to count down for MG to do his 1 minute moan. 3, 2, 1, go.
My 1 minute moan consists of Scotland because I am, of course, as you know, somebody who originally comes from Scotland.
You
Even though I
claim
was
to be
born in
Scottish.
London, both my parents are from Scotland. But I'm sick to death of this argument everybody keeps having about the Scottish referendum. I'm a good friend of Nicola Sturgeon's. I used to know her very well when I was up
drink
there.
champagne with her,
I did used to drink champagne with her before she was the First Minister, and she's a wonderful woman, great politician. However, every time she opens her mouth and says the Scottish people have a right to decide their own future, they've already had a right to decide their own future, and they decided to stay as part of the United Kingdom. The fact that they've now changed the rules and said, oh, yeah, but we'd rather stay in Europe now, so now we want to have another go at deciding our future. No, you can't have another go. Guess what's happening now? Gordon Brown, the hard iron clunking fist of the Labour Party, is going to go up there to persuade them that they can make their own VAT, that they can have their own tax abilities, that they can do this. He's trying to make some kind of name for himself. I don't know why he's bothering. Gordon Brown should shuffle off and not bother anybody for the rest of his career. Thank you very much indeed. That would be my 1 minute moan over and done with. That's it.
Okay.
Somebody's trying to call me as well, which is annoying.
That was distinctly average, to be honest.
Why is somebody ringing me in the middle of a radio show?
I have no idea. And you're trying to deflect from the fact that you've just put in a poor 1 minute moan.
No, it's not poor.
Right. No,
the mother of my children has also said that she's cancelled the interest fee.
Oh, yes?
This is as a result of you arguing. That can't happen.
Excellent.
I'm not having that.
Excellent.
Not having
this is listener power has forced you shamefully to...
It has not forced me to do anything.
Burdening your children at the age of 10.
She's going to ruin them.
With financial responsibility. Right, do you want to count me down?
Yes, I do. Time for your 1 minute moan starting now.
Right. Prince William, to me, has let the country down in a terribly bad way. He's in France as we speak. He's representing this country. He's with the lovely wife of his, the Duchess of Cornwall.
A lovely wife?
Yes, and he owes this country an apology, and I want that apology to be made today in public for his disgraceful behaviour last week.
Why?
When he went off partying abroad when he should have been at the Commonwealth Day celebrations, OK? Now, his brother, Prince Harry, was said to be the rogue within the royal family, the black sheep, the boy who was not going to conform because he was the spare in the heir and spare situation. And yet he was at the Commonwealth Day celebrations representing the family. William, on the other hand, went off and partied with two ladies of very, very dubious social standing.
Don't say the thing you said the other night.
Dubious social standing. They performed some really raucous dance. I'm not going to tell you the name of it because this is a family show, OK? But a raucous dance, and William seemed to be, he was caught on video, flailing his arms around and all that. My main concern is the Duchess of Cornwall.
Yeah, she looks very happy in the paper today, by the way.
She is a royal and she puts on a brave face. She was abandoned
got to do with the Duchess
by William
of Cornwall, anyway?
Because she was left at home while William went partying abroad.
What's she got to do with William?
Sorry? She's married to him, you did.
Well, the Duchess of Cornwall.
No, Duchess of Cambridge, actually. Yeah, that's the Duchess of Cambridge I was talking about, not the Duchess of Cornwall.
Well, you can't possibly win. You got it all wrong.
Cornwall and Cambridge are very close to each other. No, it wasn't about her. It was about William.
I've just been told I've already won. Yours was so bad.
Rubbish.
It's now 9-3.
Rubbish. That can't be true. Yours was some
wrong.
Yours was some boring monologue about, another referendum in Scotland, which nobody cares about.
Well, everybody in Scotland cares about.
Mine was about the honour of the royal family, which I think was disgraceful. And Prince William owes us an apology.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what, if you were driving to either Cambridge or Cornwall, you went to the wrong place, you'd not be very happy about it.
Doesn't matter, mate. You know exactly what the point of my 1 minute moan was, and it was better than yours.
There's an awful lot of interesting tweets coming in.
I'm not taking any notice of the judge in future in the 1 minute moan. It's corrupt, gerrymandered, and the guys...
you say that every time you lose.
Guy's a jerk.
That's what you say every time you lose. And please mind your language. Pete says, I think you're teaching your kids good financial awareness, good parenting in my book. Top parenting, says Stu. Financial responsibility starts at home, and the earlier the better.
Load of rubbish.
Top-notch 1 minute moan, says Wardy. Maybe that was Sturgeon on the blower. Yeah, very possibly.
Yeah. I mean, terrifying your children into...
Will says, since when has Prince William been married to Camilla?
Yeah. No, he hasn't. No, he's been married to...
Well, you know who Camilla is, don't you?
Yeah, Camilla's the Duchess of Cornwall.
Yeah.
And I was talking about the Duchess of Cambridge.
Who you said was married to William. That would be a
not
very
at
unusual
all.
situation. Although not unusual if it had been the Tudor times.
No. Remember,
they used to marry their relatives, didn't
they? They certainly did, yeah. Remember, it's only 1 minute and one has to get one's point over. The actual detail, the nitty-gritty of the fact is sometimes irrelevant. That's the point.
Now, it's a very good question that somebody asked us earlier, which I meant to ask you.
Okay.
Are we going to do the show from Aintree on the day of the Grand National?
Well, we'd like to. And
that's a good idea, that, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's in April.
Now, the Grand National sometimes takes place on the same weekend as the semi-finals of the FA Cup.
Is it not also just before Easter? Like the week before Easter.
Is it before or after Easter? I can't remember. Yeah, it's about March the 24th. And it's April,
no,
usually
I think
April
this year
1st.
It's the first weekend of April, I think.
First weekend of April, is it? Yeah. Well, when is Easter then?
I'm not a calendar. Just look it up. There's another goal. Another goal. Let's go to Nigel
Pearson.
Pearson. Nigel?
Yes, 14 gone here. It's the equaliser. West Bromwich Albion 1, Arsenal 1. Alexis Sanchez is the man who's got it.
What on earth will they do when he leaves?
Who?
Sanchez.
Well, who knows? I mean, it's going to be... I'll tell you what, it's going to be a very, very busy summer at Arsenal. It's going to be a very, very busy summer at Everton. Yeah. Very busy summer at Manchester United. Yeah. Not such a busy summer at Chelsea.
Have you got anything to say that's not calendar related?
Well, one has to keep one's eye on the dates and things.
Yeah. So So when you're sitting in a radio studio and somebody says, what are they going to do when Sanchez leaves?
Yes.
You're not supposed to just go, I don't know. You're supposed to come up with some kind of opinion.
Oh, yeah,
anyway,
like what? Like what?
Well, what do you think about it and come back to me?
No, I'm not going to think about it and come back to you because I can't answer. I don't get paid to run Arsenal. What interests me...
What do you get paid to do?
What interests me is what I've seen in one of my transport journals, a rail pod that will take you from the... Yeah, a rail pod that will take you from the east coast to the west coast of this country in 12 minutes. It's a pod.
Well, presumably that depends on which bit of the coast you're talking about.
No, I'm talking about...
Well, if you're going from, say, Norwich to Llandudno...
Yes.
That's going to be a bit further than if you're going from, shall we say...
Whitby to Carlisle.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. Yeah, but I mean, it doesn't matter. 12 minutes is 12 minutes to get across the country. That's pretty good.
Well, no, it has to have some bearing on the distance.
It's a new speed pod that goes at 767 miles an hour, which is brilliant, isn't it?
700 miles an hour?
Yeah, 767 miles an hour.
What does it run on?
East to west across the country in 12 minutes. Hyperloop 1. That's what it's going to be called.
Is it on a rail?
Hey?
What, is it on a rail?
It's on a magnet. You see, you just explain your ignorance again. It's a magnet. It's a magnet.
So baby, you and I are not the same. You say you like the sun, I like the rain. But still before we go, do it all again. You better catch your own train.
This is TalkSport. We are the two mics on the warm-up. We will be back tomorrow on the warm-down, believe it or not, from 4 to 6.
That's
so
right.
Don't miss that. But we've got 10 minutes left here. And up in Murrayfield, one of my old haunts, I have to tell you, in Edinburgh, Scotland are taking on Italy. Scotland should really win that. I mean, people have been saying, and we've talked about this before, and we may mention the rugby tomorrow, because England, of course, and Ireland taking each other on a bit later on, is that they should just drop Italy from the Six Nations and maybe make it a revolving position for teams like Romania, possibly, and other teams that are getting better, you know?
Yeah, but the more teams in it, the more competitive it becomes. I know that you say Italy are weak, but Italy are never going to get stronger if they suddenly banish them from the competition.
But they've been in it for a long time, and they haven't. I mean, they got a little bit better, and they don't always lose every game.
Do we think then that there are certain nations which are good at sports and certain nations that aren't? For instance, runners come from places like Kenya, don't they?
Well, it depends on what kind of runner.
Haile Selassie's place, Ethiopia, you know?
Well, no, I mean, it obviously depends on what sort of runner you're talking about. I mean,
for
example,
long-distance runners.
Well, long distance, Well, there's lots of different kinds of running. There's marathon running. Yeah. There's 5,000 metres. There's 100 metres.
You know, how come lots of people in New Zealand are good at rugby, but it's only a very small country, and yet nobody in China is very good at rugby? You know what I mean?
Well, because rugby is the main sport of New Zealand.
Yeah, but I'm saying it's in the genes.
Yeah, but it's not just in the genes. They teach it from a very early age.
Do you think because Italy, have this reputation of being, a country of lovers rather than fighters and all that kind of stuff, that do you think that has some... What are you looking at me like that for?
Well, how would that then have any relevance to the old the famous Italian defensive football?
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. I mean,
they were incredibly good at fighting.
But rugby's a bit more aggressive, isn't it, in terms of, the physical contact, getting in the scrum and all that kind of stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but a lot of them are Argentinian sort of Italians as well. They're quite big guys.
Yeah, I know, but they're still Italians, aren't they? So they still have the Italian gene.
Great
country, by the way, in case anybody thinks I'm putting it down. I'm not.
Montalbano down in Sicily.
I love the old...
I don't know why you're being so stereotypical
No,
today.
I'm not. No, I love the Spanish Steps and the Trevi Fountains. Are they in Rome? That's right, they are, aren't they?
They are.
Yeah.
Haven't you been there?
Yeah, of course I've been there.
Have you thrown any money in there?
No, I don't do that because
you just throw money away at the bookies.
No, I don't throw it in the Trevi Fountains because somebody has to go in and clean it out,
Oh, no, they don't clean it out. They leave it all in there.
No, they don't. Honestly, about once a year they have to go and get it all out because if they didn't, it would weigh it down and crack.
Here's a great tweet here from Maxwell.
Yes.
He says, "Have a great weekend, guys. I'm just in my helicopter flying over the Wirral to North Wales. Look at that."
Really?
And he's taking a picture out of his helicopter.
Wow.
So there's somebody who actually can fly a helicopter.
He actually got a helicopter. That's great. Yeah. I'll tell you what, if you're heading this way any time, Maxwell, give us a lift up to Goodison, will you, so I can get there in time for the game when we finish the show at 1 o'clock.
Which game?
It would be great. Any 3 o'clock game on a Saturday afternoon,
like
please.
Today, for example.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Playing Hull today.
Playing Hull, yeah, it's great.
So confidence is high?
Oh, confidence is very high,
You see, I've detected, because I know you so well, I've detected a subtle change in your attitude towards the Lukaku story.
Why?
Because I told you earlier in the week, Lukaku's gone. Forget about it. You might as well put him out of your mind. Yeah. You might as well put him away from any disappointment that you may be feeling. Because now
I don't feel disappointed.
No, now because I can feel that you've done a sort of John Stones turnaround scenario.
I haven't.
And you're now prepared for him to go. Because you said to Alan Stubbs, who, by the way, somebody pointed out earlier when he was on, you sounded like you were had a sort of schoolgirl crush on the guy.
Don't be
You didn't
ridiculous.
want to ask him any hard questions.
I show respect for people who've had outstanding careers, and Stubbs has had an outstanding career.
Why
okay?
don't you show any
You
respect
wouldn't
to
know
me
that,
then?
eh?
Why don't you show any respect to me?
Well,
I've had an outstanding career.
No, you haven't. You've bluffed your way. You've bluffed your way through a successive series.
Anyway,
of,
listen.
of disasters and failures.
Listen, here's the point. The point
Yeah.
is I can tell that mentally you're preparing for Lukaku to leave at the end of the season.
If Lukaku leaves Everton, I wish him the best in whatever
see?
he wants to do.
Yeah.
I only want players at Everton who want to play for Everton, and if a man's heart is not in it, he's better off going somewhere else. However, I do not believe for one moment that the situation is cut and dried. Not for a moment.
Really?
No.
Okay.
I think it's still a negotiation, so
Okay.
it should be.
All right.
It's such an important
Well, he
move.
says it's not about the money, right? So
Yeah.
they can't offer him anything other than money. They can't offer him a Champions League place. They can't offer him, top-level football unless
Yes.
they get into the Champions League.
Yes.
They can't offer him, as he says,
Yes.
the type of players. It's a sort of Wayne Rooney situation
Yeah.
when he was at Man United,
No.
when he said, we need to get the kind of players in that are going to make us a top 4 team.
If Mr. Koeman and Mr. Mashiri can convince Lukaku that we could be playing in the Champions League the season after this one, then I think there's a chance of him staying. Now, I want to show you a picture, please, because
right.
over the years I've
We've
told
only
you...
got about a minute left,
I
by
know.
the way.
I've told you about my trips to Chile and all that, right? The
Well,
Atacama
you went to
Desert.
Chile once.
The Atacama Desert. Now, is it any... I'm going to show you this picture now of the Atacama Desert. Is it any wonder to you that they use it as the moon?
It's called
in
the
many...
driest place on earth. What
That's
were you
right.
doing there?
That's right, eh?
What were you doing there?
Trying to find a drink.
Driest place on earth.
No,
it's the last place you should go.
No, there's a town on the edge of the Atacama Desert called San Pedro,
Oh,
right?
yeah. Okay.
And it's the only hotel for 30 miles that's got booze in it.
Really?
And if your car breaks down in that desert,
It is
you are
amazing
in
looking,
trouble.
I have to say.
It's beautiful, honestly. And I think they used it for that film you were talking about yesterday, Matt Damon Stranded on Mars.
Oh,
I think,
what? Mars, yeah.
I think they used it there because it is the most
Really?
it is the most moon-like looking place on Earth, honest to God, the Atacama Desert.
Okay.
And the way that the sands sweep up into dunes and all that, it's honestly it's a beautiful, beautiful place.
Yeah, well, thanks very much indeed
I thought
for
I'd
the
let
advert
you know.
for the Chilean tourist board.
Yeah, well, why not? You know,
Football show this, you know.
everybody should go to Chile. There's good people in Chile. They wear these flat hats and these ponchos, and they cook a lot of vegetables over stoves in the back garden.
Alexis Sanchez is from Chile.
He is.
He's not wearing a flat hat.
No.
He scored a goal for Arsenal.
Yeah, he did. Yeah,
Talk
he's a good
sport.
man.
Yeah.
On DAB Digital Radio and 1089 and 1053 AM, the warm-up with the two mics on Talk Sport.
You can develop albinism.